but you can have it anyway. So, should we start with replays?
Yeah, sure. I've come across a new guy in my clan. Unfortunately, he's from Australia. So.
How is that unfortunate?
Well, because I only bump into him if I'm up at like 3 o'clock in the morning playing.
Right.
I mean, unfortunate because I'd like to play him more often because he's better than me. And he gave me some good beatings last week on ladder, which are probably good ones to talk about. So it'd be better if I could play him more often, but I can't, so never mind. I've got a few replays in mind, which to start with I thought they'd be really good to look at because he beat me, and the reasons he beat me, or that I could tell, were a lot of the things you've already talked about. Like on one of them I get completely run over because I've not got a radar up front where my ACU is, and I thought, well, it's exactly the sort of thing you'd tell me to do, so it might be a good one to look at. And there's obviously some things I don't know what went wrong, but then when I watched the replay, and well, I knew I had a power stall, but it was pretty bad. But I think it'd still be worth a watch if you're alright with it.
Of course.
So it's on the 16th on Twin Rivers.
It's absolutely up to you. So you played 2. So is that guy me or Isis?
Oh, me. Excuse me. Yeah, that review we did of the Certis game, not Certis. Yeah, Certis.
Yes.
I'm kicking myself because I didn't write down what we were talking about, and I'm sure it's gone in, but I wish I could remember exactly what you were saying, because otherwise, if I can't, I feel as though I've wasted your time, and yeah.
It's certainly not wasted. I'm sure you do remember enough of it. Probably more than me. I do remember some things, but I think let's focus on this one. And
it is always confusing me with his name.
So that's looking good. If you take the 2 mass extractors with Angie's.
Yeah, I mean, so my general impressions of playing this guy is definitely better than me. Obvious, well, it will be obvious. But it just does. He seems to do everything better than I do. Like
he's better at everything. I don't believe that.
Well, maybe it's just the impression I got. Although I played him again this morning and I actually got a win out of him, so I feel better. Well, we'll see anyway. So that I do have a really bad power stall because I don't. But you say don't worry about trying to not make mistakes, but try and correct them, which is a comfort because I definitely made a mistake. But we'll see how it goes. But I think when we get to that bit, I think we have an equivalent number of tanks because he spent. If he had an advantage, he spent it in eco. So when I actually die, I don't think it's because of the power stall I had, but we'll see.
We will indeed. So far, it's looking quite nice. Now, also the scouts are really good.
Well, that's what I thought, but they didn't work out quite as well as I might like. Because he sneaks. Well, again, we'll see. But he sneaks some stuff around the side. And I felt like maybe I was just kidding myself, because normally the people I play at my level, that's enough to catch, because they just send stuff straight down the middle, and that'd be all right. But he sort of went around.
Yeah, he's going here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not normal. Also, people at my level just send things straight because usually either you have more or you don't. So you don't want to lose time. But yeah, all right, that's good.
So
it's
I've
not the end of the world.
Next time I'd send my scouts closer to.
Yeah, like here, like the other one, right?
Or further towards the back. I thought,
where that also works, yeah.
Where the engineer is now, because. Well, actually, it's weird how intuition works, because at one point in this game, it can't be in the too distant future, I felt as though I was exposed in that area. But it's weird because I've never been raided there before. I've just not played that many games on here. But I sent the scout over, which obviously didn't do the job, to where he sneaks through. Well, actually, the one's closer to my base. I think there's a scout that I send up, and I did it because I felt as though I was worried about that area, and it turned out that there was a problem, but I didn't see it in time anyway.
Well, it's alright. That's good enough. And the other tank, the scout is going here actually. That's great. You might even spot the lab with that. More important would be to spend your eco. You will get raided. That happens. Don't worry so much about it.
Yeah. So the power, like I've stopped the initial build, and I obviously need. I mean, it's the stuff we've talked about before, and I know that. You know, I've not started the power spam. And I started building with a commander and 2 engineers because I had mass. It's just the same silly mistakes.
Why you started power right now? It's not like that. What should happen is your tanks should be here to protect. That's a really important danger right now. To get all this. This reclaim is actually like more important than this NG probably in the beginning. You can just replace this NG, but this one you can't really replace that easily because he will take the reclaim if the NG dies, most likely. So in the moment where you realize there's nothing here, which is wrong, but it doesn't matter, you should have probably switched your focus to this position. And then the reinforce, like, if nothing is here yet, tanks go here. Even if he raids, then your reinforcements will still be in time, most likely. Or you can start to move your tanks back once you realize that something comes here. And now this scout also is in the better position than before.
Yeah.
Because you have another one, that's good. So, yeah, the real problem is the power stall actually. Yes, indeed, you start building factories, but you did not prepare the required power to supply your NG's building.
Yeah.
Or the SU in this case. So you only build the power to supply the factories, but not the power to supply the builders.
Yeah.
And that's why you crash.
I should know that. I don't know if it's just a case of... Well, I obviously do know it. We've talked about it at length, and I don't know if it's just a case of building up the right habits. I mean, I do correct it, although I wish I'd have corrected it faster watching the replay.
Well, it's great if you correct it. Like, as soon as you realize this and you stop making factories and you you just add the little build power. Like now, I think you started to realize something because you move your SU, and you just add in like 3 or 4 pigeons, the ones that you forgot before.
Yeah, although I felt like I needed to, when I do correct it, I felt like I needed to add quite a lot extra because I had extra mass to burn as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So...
But it's going to seem like a long time now until I...
So what I would have done is actually I would have just built 5, 6 something, a few pigeons, and then assist the factories.
Yeah, I do that as well.
Okay, that's great. And only add as many engines to this as how you really in the long term want to build power, which I think is maybe closer to 2 than 3 engines, but 3 is also not bad for a while. Like at some point you might need to stop with 3 engines.
Yeah.
But if you have a good look at your economy, then you will notice that and stop it. So yeah, you start building power here. That's great. Yeah, so that's the most important part. So most engines should assist this.
I think I do that as well.
Yeah, that's great.
In a minute anyway, because I wanted to have more build power, but I know I didn't have enough power to do it. If only I'd have known about that before.
Did the tanks, the labs kill your tank? No, they didn't. They just killed the NG. You had an attack order on the tank, on the labs. I think that was good, because you don't have to worry about it. Once you have the attack order, then the tanks will hunt down the labs no matter where they run. Now you don't have the attack order on them, and if they run away, then you might miss them, and you might even forget them. So I think to clean up raids, what's really good is to the move order here. So you get in range and you don't get the problems of the attack order while you like lag behind the units that you chase.
Yeah.
So you do the move order and then you queue up the attack order just as security in case he is running away, or in case he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to deal with raids, to do a move order and then attack order on the units. And yeah, you already send the NGs already, that's also great. Like, you don't need to wait until the units are dead. You just need to time it somewhat, so the units will be dead before the NG arrives. You could have even sent the NG much earlier, but yeah, you kinda need your NGs. Okay, now you add another NG on this power spam.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't realise I'd done that much. I thought I just sent all those to assist the few that were building.
Yeah, that would have been better because you actually want more factories, but it's alright. It's not the worst thing on the world. But you see your power is actually already fine. So if you build with 2 NGs now, it's probably going alright, because you will need quite a bit of power to spend all that mass, and you can also start ecoing. And there's also still quite a lot of reclaim here that you should actually get this with your ICU once you can spend it.
I think, especially with the raids at the back, like once I'd sent the initial one, I sort of forgot about it and was distracted with other stuff. I should have treated it like a priority, you know, getting that reclaim. Focused on it, but I think I just sent like the engineer and then just forgot about it.
Okay, well, this reclaim is it's too important to forget. So,
Yeah.
but what I would do now is, energy is fine, you want to spend mass, so you could assist these NGs with these NGs to build faster, but actually by walking there it takes long, and then you have this assist problem. I would just start some more factories here, 3 or something.
Yeah.
Another
just to spend your resources as a
yeah,
priority.
just to spend it really fast. And I would also start taking a mass extractor, because your situation is good. You have good scouting, actually very good scouting, so you can see that he doesn't really have more units than you, he actually has much less. In fact, you're a better player.
Well, no, I think it's
let's see
because
that.
he
18.
wanted to eco or something, or I don't know.
He's not ecoing yet. So you have 4 tanks more. It's not that much more, but your tanks are in better position, and you have more factories, and you have more power. Your start is a lot better. You got raided, but as said, it doesn't matter so much. And you also got reclaim, or now you could get it. So you're in a really good position. That means you don't necessarily need tanks that badly, and you have power and mass that you can hardly spend with my NGs. Now you add the NGs here. Also not bad. But I would start with at least 1 mass extractor, and you could even assist it and start your ecoing, because you are pretty safe. What I do miss is you need to build a transport on this map. It's really important to get the islands as fast as possible. That should be next to getting the middle reclaim and somewhat protecting you from raids. Should be the top priority.
Yeah, I mean, I always struggle knowing how quickly to do it. I do it.
As quickly as possible, once you can get away with making a transport. So, right now, you have, like, in the moment where you don't have to be afraid of your transport getting shut down, like in the moment where he has inties over your base, or you have 0 inties, or he's scouting you, but whenever that's not the case anymore, so you can make a transport after 2 or 3, 5, it doesn't matter that much for you right now. That's probably the best way to do it, but it shouldn't take more than 5 inties or something before you make a transport.
Yeah, so make them quicker. So on the I felt like his micro was pretty good. Like there, he had a bigger force of tanks.
Oh, your micro is pretty good.
Well, yeah, I was trying to retreat because of a superior force and sort of meet up with the rest of them. But like, I don't know. I just felt like he did a really good job of seeing the situation and moving in fast and then retreating and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you did a just as good job as him, because you retreated, maybe even better, because what did you lose? You lost 2 or 3 tanks?
Yeah.
Because of your good retreat in the right situation. So whatever he did well, you did it at least as good. So you want to take these master characters and reclaim here a bit more. And did you start to eco? So once you feel safe, you do want to eco on this map usually, or you want to go all in, but
you need to do one or the
it's
other.
a rather eco heavy map, since you can't really get advantages with map control, it's so easy to defend your expansions
Yeah.
because everything is like in one place. So you retreat here as well, that's good, and you make more factories, that's great. You stop building power.
My unit positioning was poor then, he just sort of ran off.
It's actually not the unit position that's poor, I disagree, it's the lack of radar, so you couldn't see him attacking you.
Yeah.
You need a radar here. And if possible also, yeah, for your ACU. ACU should actually not be here at the moment. It's not worth these 2 mass extractors. To risk your ACU, you're not exactly sure, you don't really need the ACU there.
Yeah, well, the game, that's a pertinent issue. The game only lasts another 2 minutes. Because of the ACU position, because I didn't have radar, I think this scout going over, I don't know if he gets gun like really quick. I don't know if he's getting it now or what, but he gets it
not
soon.
yet. But you could get Tech 2 or gun.
Yeah, I do get gun, but
you should do it, but you shouldn't do it here. You should do it here or something.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Right, and then you can walk
I don't
back.
know, like, I suppose I was just trying to use the commander aggressively, and obviously I won't do it quite as much after this game because I get run over.
Oh, that was pretty good. You use the commander aggressively, you get some damage done to him, or secure mass extractor, so you get some small advantage. You just need to be careful to not go too aggressive, or you could do that as well, but then you need all your units with your commander, or most of them.
Yeah.
And
well, so that was a major thing I was wondering about, like, obviously I didn't have enough intel at the front, and I queued up, I think I might have cancelled the order, but I think I've queued up a radar near my commander.
you did? Yeah? Here it is.
For that reason. I mean, I obviously didn't do a very good job of it, but that never got done. I think I might have ended up cancelling that to get the gun and assist my commander, but it was an accident. But then he positions his units, like, because I've got the mountain in between my 2 forces, like, I'm trying to spread my units out.
Yeah, that's why the good intel is so important, and that's why if in doubt, rather more units should be with your commander. If you want to be aggressive, then you really want to push him, right? Like, you don't just want to stand here, usually.
Yeah.
Getting the 2 mass extractors is alright. Mostly you go here to get the reclaim, and then you back off. And protect your side with your commander. Or you really plan to push him in. Or if you stand here, you should at least make 100% sure that it's safe.
Yeah.
So, getting Tech 2, gun, there are great ways.
I think I've not, like, in the past, not been burnt enough to you need, like, the right sense of fear in certain situations.
It's alright, you will do.
Yeah.
you will get it.
After this game, I'm sure.
So you have great scouting, so it's actually pretty safe what you're doing, even with Outrider. You know most of his units are here. So if he starts attacking you, and with his commander, it could be a bit dangerous. So as long as you scout, you can see that he's not going here. But that's that's enough to kill you. And now your reinforcements are coming here. You have the great wall. You can retreat. If he starts moving to you, you can start to kite. And either bring your units around here or make a counterattack.
If I'd have seen him at the critical moment, I probably would have done. But because my radar didn't get built at the front.
Okay, but let's talk about the most important mistakes. So I would say actually, one of the now you take these. You should also take this because that's it's not a mistake that loses you the game, but it's the most simple one. So you have 3 mass extractors and you need to take them.
Yeah, I was thinking about it recently, like, because I was thinking about advantages, you know, like, because sometimes in your head you just feel like it's a 50-50 match, and, you know, I find it hard to imagine what could make you win over the other person, although I find it easy enough to lose, but it's like getting like, you talk a lot about getting an advantage, don't you? So, like, raiding just gives you a bit of an advantage over your opponent.
So, that would be my next point. Like, take this group of units and you go around here.
Yeah.
And he has a radar, he will probably stop it. But try it.
Yeah.
If you lose 3 tanks, it doesn't matter. And same thing here. You take, like, this, whatever it is. Okay, it's 3 tanks, 2 scouts, 1 arty, it doesn't matter. And you go around here. And raid this. And then the next really biggest mistake is now you make the transport. It's way too late. He doesn't do either, so whatever. In this game, it's fine. And if you don't eco, you can play without eco, but then you really need to go all in and attack. So
You
if
need
you
to
get
apply
gun and
pressure.
you start to attack him, you need to end the game. Because if you don't, then as long as the game progresses, as stronger he will become, as more units he will produce. So
Yeah, I'm a bit of a tech one spam sort of person. Like, I've not made the adjustment in my head, like teching faster and stuff and everything.
yeah, it really depends on the map. So for now it's good, you get gun at least. So if you would just not eco and wait, that would be horribly wrong.
Yeah.
If you would just do nothing and wait until he out ecos you. But as long as you get gun and you plan to attack him, you plan to be aggressive. That's
Although
fine.
I don't think I've got more units than him, and he's already got a Tech 2 mass extractor.
Mhm.
So he must have had quite an advantage, I thought, to
Let's say I got 65 tanks and he got 58. So yeah, it's about the same. But one tech to mass extractor is not the end of the world. So his advantage, he got 2,700 reclaim and you got 700.
yeah.
So there's
That's
his
the
advantage. Yep. It's like he reclaimed all the stones and you reclaimed some here. He just reclaimed a lot more.
Yeah.
And you could have gotten a huge advantage by not forgetting the middle because you control it.
Yeah.
So I got gun here. Yeah, you cancelled your radar. That's
It probably killed me in the end, did that? But I think it was an accident. Yeah. Although I suppose it's games like this. So like now he's moving all his units to one side, but at the time I don't know what I was doing. I was zoomed in microing something, or I don't know, but I didn't see it, or I didn't perceive the danger.
Yeah, only see it very briefly. That's why I should only don't upgrade at the front line. If you upgrade, do it in a safe position. So a safe position is where your units can help, like here.
Yeah.
Then your units can go in.
Yeah.
Oh, you go raiding. That's great. Should do the same on the other side. And you go for the island now, and you took these mass extractors. This point defense now, I don't like this point defense. You can just make a wall here.
Yeah.
This one is kind of okay. Even so, it should be like here, because you can just still kill these 3 mass extractors from here.
Yeah, just
So
go
it should be
around,
more
yeah.
centered, but it's not really a big deal. Doesn't matter so much. And so you make your energy storage, and you stop making energy. That's actually your energy is about equal plus 100.
Yeah.
I would actually make energy with 1 engine or something.
Yeah.
And you have 3 idle engine factories since a while. Would be important too. But otherwise, most of your factories actually do something that's good.
So I think, like right now, I'm pretty much about to die. But you know, as soon as I get gun, I'm thinking, be aggressive. But I didn't have enough intel. I didn't have any radar. And
Good point. It's the same thing. If you want to be aggressive with something important, which would be as an army, or the SU is, I think it's fair to say that it's important as well. Then scout before attacking. Here are your scouts. You have a hotkey, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Select the scout. So before you actually attack, you go scout. But at this moment, you actually scouted. I think there's a scout dying, and that's why you see all this stuff. So if you actually looked at the scout, you probably didn't. But I think you actually scouted. You just didn't look at it. That's the hard part. And yeah, now you. Let's see what you're doing. Yeah, actually retreating. That's good. You kite, sending your units in to kind of block his units. But in the moment where he attacks you, you also need to either you make a counter attack here because he's maybe sends the units around here, sends these units here.
Well, I think he knew that he could finish me off, and he just piles in.
So he doesn't even have gun.
Does he not? I thought he had gun.
No.
No. Oh well, he's just got 10,000.
So it's not that bad. You just walk somewhat in the wrong direction. Oh, he does have gun. Okay. It was just lagging. I'm wrong. You walk into the wrong direction. You needed to kite. So in the moment where he attacked you with his commander, without you knowing what's up, you should probably expect that he knows better when he attacks you, and retreat and kite. And your SU could be here or something. And then these units are they coming? Yes, they are. This unit should also do something. It's hard to when something like this happens, to zoom out, and now you have units here and do something with them. But try it. Like what you do is give one move order. Like you give this orders that you need, but then you're done. Then you can't do so much anymore.
Yeah.
And then you have time to zoom out and give some other orders.
Mhm.
And then you go back to this battle. So you try to switch between things because you don't need 100% attention all of the time. You because you don't need to give orders constantly. You give the orders that you need. Yeah, so.
Sorry, I was just going to say, do the fact that it's Mantis make a big difference as well? Because in the game it seemed to happen so fast. Like, all of a sudden I was just completely
It does make a
surrounded.
difference. It's not the biggest difference in the world, but it does make a difference, yes. And you do you attack it because you know that you have to attack units instead of SU?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so but what you need to do is you need to wait until your commander starts shooting at a unit, and then you keep moving,
Yeah.
because then you relocated it to units, and it will shoot units. You don't want to wait until you actually kill something. And yeah, no, you're dying, but you're
It's just too late.
this unit comes. So, okay, it's great. Like if you would have done nothing with them, I would have complained, but you actually do the correct thing. So you die because you upgrade in the wrong position, and no radar. In general, just being not careful enough with your ACU in using the ACU aggressive when you actually have to use your ACU aggressive because you didn't eco, so you have to push. But you just didn't really scout and didn't see the danger, and you need to reorganize. Like, he put everything to one side and you needed to react to that. It's actually a really small mistake that loses you the game here. Because if you just made this radar and scouted, etc., I think it's not necessarily a mistake not to eco. It's if he plays really well, it's probably a mistake, but let's keep it at that. It doesn't matter so much now.
Yeah.
If you get the islands, it's also it's a non-factor. If you get the islands, you will probably win.
If if that hadn't have happened, that I'd have died. Well, I don't know how it'd have progressed, to be honest, because I think he is better than me.
It would have pretty much come down to unit micro. He's also tech 2. So you probably needed to take your SU and all your units like he did and just push him.
Yeah.
And at the same time you raid a bit and you get the islands. And then it probably, since you had similar amounts of units, kind of depends on the unit micro.
Maybe all in T1's not. Well, I don't deliberately do all in T1. It's just I'm trying to spend my mass. That's all. I got behind and I wanted to spend it, and it's just the way it ended up.
Yeah, eventually, at some point, you in the moment where you have to think about it, you have to think if you can win with Tech 1 or not. Like, if the game is in a state where if you build more Tech 1 units, that you are able to push him or to raid him enough that you will actually win with it. So that's what we meant. When the game is in an even state, then you have trouble thinking about what to do to win. And the answer is, if you are not sure that you can win the game with Tech 1, or you don't think so, then you go Tech 2 instead of building more factories.
Yeah.
So you after, I don't know, let's say you build 5-6 factories, and then you realize, okay, he's making a lot of Tech 1, I'm making a lot of Tech 1. If you just make both lots of Tech 1, it becomes harder and harder to attack.
Yeah.
Right, because the defender just can stand in formation and stuff like that, and in general the defender bonuses, and also radar coverage comes up, so it's not really possible to do any sneak by attacks. And then you stop making factory, take the last factory and take attack Tech 2.
Yeah, I should do that more.
Yeah, so we might have to learn when to tech. So that's a good focus point.
Yeah, well, I think people have criticised me before for like staying on one tech for too long and stuff.
So I think staying on Tech 1 is really good to learn the game actually, to because you can learn so many basics while spamming tech 1 without when to take is a hard decision and can lose your games. But if you don't fall into if you don't lose games to go in tech 2, etc., you can really learn the basics of the game very well, like how to spend your eco, how to balance mass and power, how to distribute your units, how to organize everything, how to learn not to have anything idle, all these things that you need, like the base to play the game.
Yeah, we've started in a good place, I think, because before we started as lessons, like I'd often be upgrading mass extractors really quickly just to spend my mass because I'd not managed it properly, and as well, like just like you pointed out, if I've got twice as many units as my opponent, it's easy to win, like because at my level, a lot of the times you can lose just because, people lose just because they're upgrading mass extractors while they're being attacked and stuff like that. So we've definitely started in a good place, but obviously there's a lot more to the game than that, isn't there?
I think it's great we are progressing because these things, the basics are starting. You become quite good at these basics. Like it's not perfect yet, and you have to keep improving them, like raiders, etc. But it's definitely getting better to a point where we can start with other things, like teching, where the basics are there.
Yeah,
so
even though like the problems occurred, you could see in this game that I was trying to correct them, sort of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like your power was actually, it wasn't perfect, and the start especially, but the most important part, correcting it, you did it really good, and that's why you did not lose the game to the power store. Not because you made it, but you corrected it, and that was not the mistake that lost you the game.
I'm glad, because when I watched the replay, it looked pretty awful. I could have done it a lot better. But yeah, I mean, you don't just want to stay on that forever, do you? There's so much other stuff to learn too, isn't there?
Yeah, well, absolutely. This will improve naturally when you keep doing it, and it's still probably the most important part is still the same things we talked about, like the start, spending your mass, etc., to actually avoiding the mistakes and fixing them more efficient.
Yeah.
That should still be the focus point, and that will help you most. But at the same time, the things are actually, while not perfect, good enough. So can do something like the Tech 2 thing. As said, at some point think about, do you actually want more Tech 1 factories? Do you want more Tech 1 units? And ask yourself this question at some point in the game.
Yeah.
And then you answer it. And if the answer is no, then you go Tech 2. And similar, if you are in a comfortable position on economic heavy maps, like this one, the small map pool helps with that a bit.
Yeah.
Then you should start eco, and when you start, you don't stop again, unless the situation it's an emergency and you really need units. So you should start whenever you feel somewhat safe. That on the one side, your advantage is not big enough that you can win the game in the next few minutes if you just build more units, or you can increase your advantage a lot. And on the other side, your position is somewhat secure. You are not going to lose anything really important if you don't build more units now. So, and if you can answer both questions with yes, you get a Tech 2 mass extractor, and you do it like he did. You just take all and upgrade them, pause them, and then you take some NGs and chain assist them.
Yeah.
And
so if he just assisted one of those paused extractors now, it would upgrade. Because I mentioned before, I've had some trouble with it.
you need to... Sorry?
And you've said before that you need to wait a couple of seconds.
You need to wait, not a couple, like a half second is enough.
Yeah. I think I do that, because otherwise it just doesn't show as upgrading at all, does it?
Exactly. It will show actually where it says 0% now.
Yeah.
And it will show upgrading instead.
Right, okay.
And if it shows upgrading, it doesn't work, because then it's like queued up the upgrade, but it didn't start yet. And if it shows 0%, it's correct.
Because there's two things that make that doing it that way easier. Like the first is that they're all highlighted, the ones that still need to be upgraded because they're paused. Well, I mean, yeah, you can just see the ones that need upgrading, and then the chain assist thing means you don't have to give it constant attention as
Yes.
well.
Even so, you still shouldn't just let it run on autopilot. You should add more NGs or withdraw NGs or pause the NGs in a situation if needed. So you should fine tune it just like you do with your power line.
Yeah.
But it's very similar to a power line. Right? You add more NGs or you stop making it if the situation tells it. But as long as everything goes normal, you keep it running.
Yeah.
That's what you do with the mass extractor. And whenever you have attention, you should unpause the mass extractor that's currently being assisted, especially if you have not many NGs. If you have 2 NGs, then unpausing it will increase the speed, like double the speed.
Yeah.
Even more actually. So you probably, if you don't have attention, it's not that important. But if you do, it's nice to start doing that. Start always, like if you have some free room to look which upgrade, which mass extractor is getting upgraded, unpause it.
Yeah, I need to get. I do need to get my head around the eco thing because I find it a bit strange. It's like some people seem to treat it like on some maps you just don't eco. Like I think we've talked about that before as well, because on Theta or something, I think we've talked about if your total army is like 20 tanks, then it makes a massive difference. It's like it's a much larger proportion of your economy if you do upgrades than it is on a bigger map. So
yeah, absolutely.
I sort of understand that. Yeah, but I'd like it not to be map dependent. My understanding of when to eco and when not to eco.
Well, it's not, right? That are the basic rules. If you can get away with it. So
yeah,
it's not a great rule, but it's probably the only one.
I think it'll come with the experience. I mean, there's a couple more. Like I said, I'm really glad to be able to play this guy because I feel like I can learn a lot from playing him. Like, in order to beat him, I'll have to play at my best, which is good, obviously. But you'll see there's a couple more games where he just out ecos me.
Let's watch
crazy.
Oh, let's watch something. But this game, you did actually well. I think even so you lost, you played better than most other games we watched. Like, or in general, it was pretty good.
Well, this other one might let you down then. Well, it's really annoying because I played. We'll still look at them because this is obviously me. These are the most recent games I played competitively. You know, so it's no good me saying, "Oh, it was horrendous economy," because this is just what my game's like at the moment. So we may as well see it. Well, there's 2 other ones I played with in that. I played on Flooded, Tabula Rosa, and then Stella Maris. And I think I tried to improve like in the second one from the first one, but we could probably watch both. But I watched the replay for the first one, and there's horrendous economy problems in it.
Well, this 20 maps are a whole new dimension. Like
well,
really,
tell TA to get them off ladder then.
it's really a whole new dimension. It's not. It's you need more of everything. It's like you need to learn how to do everything. And how to really work with that incredible amount of resources. Like if you are used to 5x5 and 10x10 maps, then or even like Roanoke and the Glaciers are somewhat in this direction, but that's another case. You have a lot of mass, like really a lot.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll get into it. I've actually, since I played this game, I'd already seen it, but I've rewatched another one of your, I think it was late night analysis with Nombringer or something. So I've seen a lot of your analysis of the map itself, which I thought it'll help me next time.
Actually, I recently gave another lesson on this map. I forgot for who it was, actually.
It's probably because it's on the ladder now, isn't it? It's more...
Yeah, but I explained someone else the map, so... quite interesting.
So I think going into the game, my focus... Well, I don't... Was it this one, or maybe it was the next one, because I lost air in this one. I was thinking about trying to focus on air, unless I'm getting my games mixed up. Like all I had in mind really was just try and make a lot of power and like add assists to the air factory and stuff. But I don't actually know if that was this game or the other one. But
Okay.
we'll see.
Well, it's a good start. In general, actually, on bigger maps, usually the first few minutes is focused on air, with like navy maps, and then you don't want to start navy too early. You also don't want to be too late, however, so you get pushed out of the water. And on this map, you actually want to be earlier than on other naval maps, because on other naval maps, the payoff time for naval units, like when they actually do something useful for you, is quite large.
Yeah.
Like on the Rifting Glaciers, they have to travel through the whole map. But on this map, you can get so much mass by making a few subs of frigates and protecting your NGs, getting them.
Yeah, I was thinking about after the game. In this game, I made I think a 1-to-1 mix of subs and frigates. But then I've just decided to think the next time I play this map, I'm just going to do sub spam because, I mean, I don't know how much good frigates can actually do at harassing, because they're all under the water, all the extractors, aren't they?
I would always make a few frigates, and if it's only for radar,
Oh, did they give you radar?
like the radar of the frigate, that's really one of the main advantages. And you can raid some of these mass extractors, and at some point, if you have enough frigates, you can drive into his naval yard and kill him, and you later need frigates to, like, on the Tech 2 naval stage, because frigates are actually useful.
Yeah.
They're mass
They
efficient.
do the radar, the show up false things on the radar and sonar as well, don't they? Or is that frigates?
That's UEF frigates, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not that important.
Alright, so still make some frigates then. I'm a bit nervous about this game because the economy was horrendous.
So we never talked about Navy and never talked about big maps. And you probably don't have too much experience, so that's worth a few lessons actually. Like big maps and Navy is a lesson worth on its own, I believe.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll look forward to all that. We can just get into whichever bits that you feel like we should. Like, no doubt you'll have a lot to say about the
Yeah, so
economy.
just saying, we won't cover this big map thing. We will just peek into it. And I would also say your focus shouldn't actually be like try to play this map as good as I can and adapt, but I would not put my focus on really playing this map so well yet, because it's really hard. It's because there's so much mass, you have extremely much to do.
Yeah.
More than on other maps, and having not enough time to execute everything is already on smaller maps a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, you assist grounds and you assist the engines, that's great. And Pigeons after Hydro is yeah, that's all really good.
I think with the Navy stuff, like it's a bit weird because I don't know why, but in my head I struggle to see it just like a normal land engagement. You know, like only attacking when you've got a superior force, and for some reason I find it harder to have visibility of what's going on. Maybe just because I don't scout Navy as much.
You need a Tech 3 sonar.
Yeah, well, there's that as well.
Is that really cheap compared to what they give you, or have you actually made them more expensive now? The patch was released today, like just a half hour ago.
Oh, thanks for that. Yeah. Have you released the patch?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to be playing more now?
Maybe.
Have you played a ladder game yet today?
No. The patch just was released just before the lesson.
Congratulations, because that's a big achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks. Let's see how it turns out. But what did I actually want to say?
Sorry. Yeah, we're not here to talk about the game. We're just having a chit chat.
You should see naval mostly just like land. Like there are quite some significant differences, but all the rules like about land engagement, like retreat if you have less, and attack if you have superior forces, and kite and stuff like that. All of them apply.
Yeah, I don't know. I sort of know that, but I don't know why I don't treat it like that, or I find it
So
hard to.
vision is really important. So really, Tech 3 sonar is like the same as a Tech 2 radar on land.
Yeah.
It's it's a similar price. It's more expensive now, whatever.
I
But
usually go really overboard with sonar. Well, it just feels like I want good coverage, and I don't know. But when I watch pro replays, no one else seems to do it. So I'm expecting you to say, why have you built that sonar?
No, I would never say that. It's great. Why people don't make sonar like everywhere is just because it's really hard to get the sonars done. The engines usually die, and on this map it's maybe a bit different because you have the engines here anyway, and you have to protect them.
Yeah.
But usually it's just much easier to get a text-free sonar,
Yeah.
and then I can move it around.
Yeah. And it gives you
it's
such massive range as well.
Exactly. So yeah, really write that down. Text-free sonar is super.
OP.
for
Was
Navy.
OP until the patch half an hour ago.
It's still great. It's still absolutely worth to make it once you can afford it. Like usually with Tech 2 power, there's no reason not to get a text-free sonar. So yeah, you start Navy. That's great. Maybe a little bit early because you can't really afford that yet. Or you take the mother extractor as well. So I would have actually not done that yet. Actually, there's a very simple general rule that has many exceptions, but it somewhat works. You start ecoing when your expansion is complete on most big maps.
Yeah. I should know that. I don't. That was
Until
silly.
your
Why did I do
expansion is
that?
complete, you usually can profit more from making more units, because then you can also with more units, his like if yours is not complete, his is not complete either. So with more units you can delay his expansion. And in this case it would be air units. So if you make air units instead of Tech 2 mass extractors, you
Yeah.
can get air control and you can delay its expansion, and that's more worse than some Tech 2 mass extractors.
I think the obviously the wrong thought I had in my head at the time was I wanted to get a head start on the economy. But you'll laugh when because it all goes so terribly wrong. I think another thing that might be worth mentioning is prior to this game, I'd actually played a guy that was like 1,200 ladder rating, and I beat him on this map. So I don't know if I was feeling too confident because I got well outplayed on this one. But
Well, right
yeah.
now you delay your expansion, right? So
Yeah.
the expansion need to have the first priority, and on this map it's like you keyed up the transport. Also, I would actually rush it as well. You can make, let's say, 2 inties and 2 scouts or something, and with a scout you can try to find his transport. And if you find it, you can target lock it with the 2 inties.
Yeah.
So that's why you make 2 scouts. Like 1, 2 scouts, and maybe it dies, so you make another one. You search his transport, and you have the 2 inties to protect your transport. But you don't really need more, because you can't make that many inties. You need to cross the map.
Yeah. So I was a bit confused about that. Obviously, I did queue a transport, so I must have been thinking something.
Mhm.
Maybe I was thinking about trying to drop his side or something. And I think, if not on this game, but then on the other game, I was aware that I was really vulnerable on my expansion. So I was trying to send air in that direction, expecting him to drop. In fact, on that previous game I mentioned, it's important because it'll explain some things which in the light of this game look stupid. Because the other guy did drop at the side of my expansion. So a lot of the things I'm doing is sort of expecting this guy to play the same way as the other guy. And some things that worked against the other guy got me killed on this one.
Okay.
Like, we'll see, but on the other game, I practically could just walk my commander over into the corner. Like, I try and rush my commander all the way to the other side to protect it. And that was enough
Yeah.
firepower to save me in the other
Oh,
one.
that's good. Yeah.
But on this one, I didn't have enough units supporting, and you'll see how it
Alright.
went wrong.
So, well, this that's great. You're learning from experience. There's nothing wrong with that. So you either drop your side, like Angie's here, and maybe
Yeah.
here on both positions. I would actually go straight here and get this, because you can get this with Angie's from here, whatever. But that's a vulnerable position, as you experienced. So I would
Yeah.
secure this first. And later you can still drop Angie's around when flying back, or even make a second transport. It doesn't matter so much. You can also do what your opponent did and drop here and contest it. It doesn't really matter so much. It's up to you.
I did have a question to ask after watching the thing you did with numbering it. I didn't understand really, because it seems to me like, say he dropped my side and I just tried to fight to get it back, but I didn't drop his side. Wouldn't that put him at an automatic advantage? Because all the time I'm just fighting to get my side back, he's got his side. Because I heard you saying on that one that it doesn't matter whether you drop his side or your side or whatever, but I don't understand, because if he drops my side and I don't drop his side and I'm just fighting to get my side back, doesn't that give him an advantage?
Well, the point is to win. If you drop your side and he drops your side, then you have to win relatively fast. If you're right, if this fight takes forever and you can't win it, then it's really bad for you. But if you win it, then you will get all the reclaim from all the fighting.
Yeah.
And that makes up for the little time not having the mother structure. And when your ACU comes, it can help. Even so, by the time the ACU is here, it's taking forever. Usually the ACU should maybe go here or something, secure a little bit, and then if really needed can bring it. But by this time it shouldn't take that long. The advantage of dropping your side is, while on this map it's actually about the same distance. So you might as well drop his side. But yeah, I do believe in the end it doesn't matter so much, because when you drop his side you also delay your expansion.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
He might drop your side, like he might drop his side, you drop his side, and then afterwards the transports go back or die and you make a new one, and then you drop this expansion as well, and then you fight on both.
You see, if I'd have done what you said now, I could target lock his transport. I don't know why I didn't.
Oh, that would be good. Like, that's the biggest early game advantage that you can get. If you can find his transport and target lock it.
Yeah, I don't think. I think I was looking for engineers to bomb instead, and I just didn't. I missed an opportunity.
It's fine. Yeah, you did, but it's not the worst thing, and you didn't know. But
I think maybe I sent the interceptor that way because I saw it, but I didn't lock it. But then I didn't manage to actually stop it.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth to. You even pay attention because you switched. One inti is not really enough, however, to kill a transport that fast.
Right.
But you do know that he's dropping his head, and you see he is doing what you should do. He's just he's rushing the transport. You can even rush the transport as first unit. But just to make sure, I would actually make scout to inti scout the transport. It's still fast enough.
Yeah.
So he dropped here with 3 NGs. Things become dangerous now. So you need to fight this. So he will make lots of factories. You need to make lots of factories while expanding. Your attack 2 mass extract is hurting you.
Yeah.
Stalling your mass so your factories don't get done. Also his naval factories actually. In the moment where he drops your island, you need to focus on fighting on this island. So all your mass should go into this.
Yeah.
So
I think watching this game might have been a mistake.
No, absolutely not. Even so, I said I think the focus should actually not be on 20 extent games, simply because they're just yet a little bit too hard. Unless you really want to play and learn them, then we will do that. You should always do the thing you enjoy most first. But I think
it's just the things. Well, to be honest, it's just because these are the games I've had. Unfortunately, I don't get as much time as I'd like to actually play, and these are the best games I've had.
No, it doesn't matter. They are still good to learn, and eventually, sooner or later, you have to learn them anyway. So we might as well start. I just wouldn't focus on them so hard. So he dropped here. So you can't drop here anymore. He will already have factories. So you go here with SU and build your stuff with the NGs. Which means you already have an advantage on this island, because your factory is done, his isn't.
Yeah.
If you didn't stall, you probably would have already 2 factories or something, and expanded a bit. And then you go and drop his island as well.
Stupid Max.
So
I think the last game that I won, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I spammed bombers over to, because I'd seen his engineers, that was it, and I was like kicking myself because I didn't have any bombers, because I could have just queued up I should have been able to just attack straight away, but I didn't have any bombers available, or it was really...
So yes, you can and you should bomb this, and you can also have a bomber here
Yeah.
just waiting to protect it. So it's great. Just have the bombers that you had here to bomb these engines, or another one, and let it wait here.
Yeah.
It will also give you radar, that's really nice. But you should anyway, you need a transport, and now you just drop his island as well. Because he dropped yours.
Yeah.
And
So if he's dropped yours, no, but you were saying before that you don't. It's not like you have to have dropped his, otherwise he'll have an advantage because you'll get the reclaim. But so you're not saying, are you, that in order to make it equal or to maintain an edge, you need to? Would I have to drop his side now in order to?
now, yes. So what I was talking about is if you have both the transport at the same time, done,
Yeah.
and you drop both at the same time here,
Okay.
right? Yeah, like you would also be dropping here right now.
And then it'd just be a little fight over who.
Yes,
Who
and then you can, and then you also need to throw everything into it. Then you need to make a lot of air as fast as possible because winning air control will decide that fight. Then you can
Yeah.
bomb. He has to make anti-air, and you have like the same amount of engines or something, and you can support that from here with more
Yeah.
factories. So you should win. And you
But
may.
once he's already dropped, you do need to drop his side.
So yes, what I meant is the first drop doesn't matter. In the moment where you don't even know yet where he drops. The first drop is your side or his side. Like on really high level play, it might matter, but for you it's really irrelevant, or for most people actually. And I haven't played this map myself, so I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to say such things. So it's not impossible that one thing would be better, but it would really, I think, only for really good execution.
Yeah, I mean, their finesse compared to the mistakes I make. It's
I think for you, or even like numbering or something, it really doesn't matter so much if you drop yours or his. It really is a matter of preference.
So you know what's really frustrating? In my head, I'm a better player than I am in reality. So it's painful watching replays.
It's always it's always really obvious and simple in replays.
Yeah.
But we don't do the lesson to learn how to be good in replays, right?
Can we not just imagine we can play? Well, I can just imagine I can play the game. When I'm sat at work thinking about when I get home and I can have a game, everything goes really well.
So yeah, the ecoing is actually now you do like the old mistake of ecoing too early, and the ecoing slows down your expansion.
Yeah.
You build the mass extractor slower, you get mass slower, you know he dropped here, so you know you have to fight for this, and you have to make factories here. So the first engine is gonna expand some bronze, that's great. And the next engine should like maybe one more engine here, and then you start making factories. And your ACU is not going to be enough.
You're laughing. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, it's stupid, but in that other game, I don't know if it was earlier or it dropped later, but it worried enough. I just strolled, or he reacted badly. I just strolled in and it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll laugh on the next game because I do the opposite. Because I know about what happened on this one. On the next one, I just spam loads of factories and end up with it. Yeah, you'll see.
And he won't drop, and you end up with tons of units. Yeah, okay. So where you build your factories here, I would actually build them right here, because it doesn't matter if you walk here or if your units walk here. It actually matters a bit, but at the moment you need your factories fast, and that delays them.
Yeah.
So, what about your energy? Is getting a bit low. Are you going to add some? Yeah, you actually did. It's actually the energy from here, but whatever.
Closest idle energy. That's what that does for you. You walk all the way across
So
the map.
your mistake is your transport is just now in construction.
Yeah,
it's
really
way too late. You made the tech to mass extraction and said you needed more power and more assist. You actually assist and you build the power like you had this plan. But you just, and you made too many intis as well. You like I said, make scout to inti scout. That's like it doesn't matter. You can make 3 intis, you can make 1 intis, you can make 0 intis, and just rush the transport. But having the fast transport, that's the most important thing. Not too late, and assisting it as much as possible, and building the power for it.
I'll definitely start doing that.
So and with the transport, you could have then drop him, and that's really like that's empty. Even if you just take the mass extractors, it's worth it. If you don't even build a factory, you will have the mass extractors for 2 minutes or something.
There's no getting away from it, is there? You can't get good and be so slow at grabbing your resources, like, because your opponent doesn't even need to raid you, because it's like you raid yourself by not building the stuff.
Yeah, like
Under attack.
grabbing your resources is a key competence of being good.
Yeah.
And well, you get a lot of mass from the middle. So the navy is, even though you don't have that much yet, is paying off to some degree. So I wouldn't say it's a mistake to make it. And your sonars are great. You star power. So you that's also why such maps. You actually added a lot of assist, so the power spam will solve itself soon.
Yeah.
And balancing your power and your mass on this map is harder, and you have to get used to it. That's why a big part of why these maps are so hard. You have so much mass, so the amount of power that you have to build is so different to 5x5 and 10x10 maps.
Yeah.
That you have to get used to it, and you have to find you just have to get a bit of experience how many engines you need on power spam. And very often on maps with so much mass, it's really good to just make a second factory, NG factory.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it was this game or the other one, because normally I don't.
Okay.
But on I think it might have been the next one I show you. Well, I'm not saying I actually did it. I can't remember if I did or not. But on quite a few occasions, I was like, I need engines, and I've not got any. Why haven't I got any? So I was gonna, if I didn't, I was definitely gonna build a second factory for engineers.
Yes, that's great. So let's actually see what's happening. He did 2 factories.
Yeah.
And he started when you had 1 and he had 0. So now you still have 1 factory.
Yeah, well, what you said would happen did happen. I got run over because I tried making my factories too far across, and also because I didn't have any. I'd spend all my resources on upgrading mass extractors. Like, because I tried building that queue of factories in the middle, didn't I? But they just got run over.
Yes, and like it wouldn't be too impossible to already have 5 or 6 factories here.
Yeah.
So going with the SU here is incredibly dangerous.
Well,
you should usually you don't want to go with your SU alone somewhere. You always want to back it up with units.
I blame the other guy because I got away with it on the last one, and
you actually dropped here.
I got some bad positive reinforcement because it worked really well last time.
Why now you got your negative reinforcements
Yeah,
to even it
yeah,
out, so that's good. Your sonars are really good.
Alright, good, because I thought you were going to tell me not to make those.
I don't know what I did to deserve such an accusation.
Well, no, it's because people don't. But then on Roanoke, I don't know if it's because they prefer radars on the island. Do radars work as sonars as well?
No, but they do, like on Roanoke, subs are not really a factor because people build frigate to raid around the islands.
Yes. Alright, so the radar will show you the frigates.
Yes.
And that's why people... Plus there's so many small islands all around.
Yes, and the sonars would die really easy. Because it's such an open map, frigates come everywhere.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard to build them. And you get the text-free sonar anyway.
Yeah, because I think I'd probably seen a game on that and just thought, well, hang about, no one else is making all these sonars, I must be doing something wrong.
No, that's right. Do it. As long as you can keep them alive, as long as the sonars work for you, you should build them. And if they don't die, they work. And these 2 are especially really good.
So on this, I'm just going to put it down to experience and having to learn all these things, but I react really slowly to the obvious situations that are going on. You know, like you might think, well, it's obvious you need to do this to correct it. Well, it's probably already too late, but I'm not very quick thinking in the moment, and I'm hoping that just comes with experience, because I don't know.
I think it's completely to be expected that if you get thrown on such a map without much experience, that you can't do everything right, because there's so many new things to learn, and you have to get used to alone taking all these mass extractors, and then you have so much mass, and like you see, the biggest problem right now is the eco. So You have to focus fixing that right now. Spend your mass, build more power, like even more. You build a lot, and care not to overbuild power. So right now you have lots of engines and power spam. 5 is actually pretty good for this map, maybe. So to get, you still need more power, but I wouldn't add engines here as you build so much. So I would again just build a bit power.
Yeah, I think I might have made the old mistake of assisting the existing.
Yeah, you did.
engineer, and that'll slow me down. I need like power really badly. And
Yes, you did. Whenever you notice it, just take them all and give new orders. Or, like always when you can, do that instead of assisting. Like even one assisting an assisting NG is worse, but even assisting is not great. But if you have something better to do, it's not so worse. It's an assisting is completely fine.
Yeah.
It's just if you
I know
have
we've talked about that before, but the situation's yet to happen where I feel like I've got the spare. I might have noticed it once or twice since we talked about it, but I'm always like really busy.
yeah, that's
busy.
fine. Then keep it. At some point you will not be busy, and then you
Yeah.
will do it.
Busy
so
losing.
yeah, spend your mass. Yeah, when you actually start to not lose that hard, then you're also less busy, because losing makes you really busy, because shit is going down everywhere. You lose things everywhere. Winning is much less stressful than losing.
Yeah.
It's very surprising.
So yeah, I mean, obviously it's slowly dawning on me. Oh, this isn't going to work. My commander's not going to do the job because he made a point defense and just normal things that you'd do.
Yeah, alright. So, but you haven't lost yet. If you you have a nice control over navy, you need to spend your mass. So you need to build more naval factories. And I'm actually really happy that all your factories are not idle. That's great. That's quite some improvement. And a really important one. Like, I'm not joking. So build more naval factories with these engines.
It's just funny that the best player of the game is telling me that I need to like not have my factories idle. That's why I'm laughing.
Oh well, yeah, you don't need me for that, but it's good regardless. And then now would be the point to, if you didn't already realize, you need to spend mass, you need more engines, so make another engine factory, cure more power, and then start working on this. What are you doing? You make tanks now. It's good as long as he is threatening your engines, but mostly you need factories. So you should, now you have the point defense, your engines are safe from tanks, so you should switch back to engines, so you can build factories faster.
We should probably stop watching this. It's not going to get any better.
And you can speed it up a bit. Yes. That
I'm still upgrading. Oh, I need to spend my mass, and I'm losing my island.
Well,
And
it's
the best
okay.
thing I
Like
can think of doing is upgrading.
taking mass extractors is still like, it's okay. You shouldn't assist them. Like, it's okay to upgrade some mass extractors, especially on big maps, as panic situation. Like, even if you didn't want, but you kind of want to upgrade them anyway, because the expansion phase is actually kind of complete. Right? You expand all the 3 mass extractors are taken. This are his, and these are yours. You didn't get all the ones that you wanted, but the expansion phase is kind of over, so ecoing is not really the worst thing. And if you can't spend your mass in units, then it's better to spend it in eco than not spending it at all. Even so, you should still focus on, once these upgrades are done, that you don't get into that loop of getting too much mass again from the mass extractor. So it's important to do it as emergency solution, but not as long term. Like it's not an alternative to fixing your mistakes. It's just giving you a little bit more time, and it's preventing you from wasting mass while you fix your mistakes, which would be more build power, more factories, more something. It doesn't matter what. Also on big maps you should go Tech 2 quite early, because for so much mass you need much power, so you want the efficient Tech 2 power.
Yeah.
You don't want to build so much Tech 1 power.
I'm really surprised I ended up with so little power in this game, because I tried to make a lot.
Well, you make a lot for normal standards, but for standards on this map, you need even more. Like, a lot is not enough
Yeah.
for this map. So mostly I'm curious if you start to fix your mistakes with mass, if you start to try spending your mass. You made another factory.
Ah, I had the idea.
It's idle so far, but if it will produce engines and there's not really
You need to just be encouraged that I made it.
a chance. I do like that you made it, and I like that you assist your naval factory and that you got tech 2. So the mistake you're doing here, first unit NG. Like
Right.
that's the rule for tech 2 factories. Like the few
Oh, yeah,
seconds
but
to
we-
build
we
the tech 2
talked-
NG.
We talked about this on Certis because I had some trouble where, because I'm so busy, I'll like say my first Tech 2 factory, my habit was, well, not really Navy to be honest. Like I should start doing it in Navy, but on land, my first Tech 2 like the HQ, I'll queue up some engines and then some tanks and stuff, and then because I'm really busy, I just assist that factory with my other ones, and I end up with about 600 Tech 2 engineers. So on Certis we talked about you could even in your first factory just queue up the offensive units, and then in the support factory queue up the engines when you need them. So
Yes.
I don't. Well, I'm sure I would have done this anyway because it's Navy and I sort of see it different, and I should.
But that's for later.
Yeah.
That's for if you need more tech 2 engines later.
But you'd still definitely have one
The
first.
first, yes, like there are, if you rush tech 2 or if you really need a tech 2 units, if you're getting attacked, right? And you
Yeah.
really need a tech 2 units, then you get the tech 2 units first and not the NG. But in all normal situations, get the tech 2 NG first, set the waypoint like that. And what I do is I just don't do infinite queue. And then once the NG is done, I actually see it. So whenever I give the tech 2 NG some order or something, I will put infinite queue on my factory.
Well, I don't know if that's like an attention thing or a not being busy thing, because the thing I'm scared about is when, like, basically I have my factory idle for ages. Like,
Mhm.
I need to pay more attention to the right.
Oh, that's fine. Then you queue up one NG or two NGs, at least one or two, and then you queue up 20 tanks or 30 tanks, and like in the meantime, while 30 tanks get produced, at some point you will remember or you will notice your Tech 2 NG because you want to build something with it. That's why you made it.
Yeah.
And you will start your Tech 2 power or something, and whenever you do something with your Tech 2 NG, you will remember that you have to put your factory on repeat now because the NG is not in the queue anymore. Or you just put, actually you can also do it the other way. That's probably better, do it that way. You queue up two NGs and as many tanks or units as you have time for, like 20, 30, 50, whatever. Just queue up some units and you put infinite queue in. And then when you do something with your Tech 2 NGs, you just go to your factory and you delete the Tech 2 NGs from the queue.
Yeah.
But seeing the idle Tech 2 NG or doing something with it can be like a reminder that you have to do something in your factory.
Yeah.
So that will work. You just have to think about it, and it should be easy to pick that habit up for you.
So the most important thing would be the Tech 2 power. That's what I need. Like,
Yes.
Well, actually, the most important thing is spending what I've got. Oh, it's so painful to look at that.
That's one of the biggest reasons actually to go Tech 2, especially on such big maps. But also on 10x10 maps, the Tech 2 power is one of the best things about Tech 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, start doing that. So the first unit should always be an NG, unless it's an exceptional situation where you really need a tank. Or where you just rush Tech 2 and your opponent is Tech 1 yet and you want to do damage, right?
Yeah.
Because you can abuse the fact that he doesn't have Tech 2 yet. Then you may also do a few tanks and then the NG. But the NG should still be queued. You always want a Tech 2 NG. And in like at least 90% or something of cases it should be the first unit.
Imagine what my economy would look like if I had that whole expansion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Commander under
that's
attack.
big maps, right? Like you have half of the mass that you should get and you would have double, and so you would need tons of NGs, and they should be mostly on your naval factories. You could also, like, usually you should assist your air factory, that's great, but at some point you just don't have enough NGs, and then you might as well just build a few air factories, especially on maps with such much mass. Usually you don't want to make so many air factories on smaller maps because you don't want to end up with 100 inties,
Yeah.
right? And you want to be flexible. But on such big maps you want to end up with 100 inties because in relation to everything else it doesn't cost much.
Yeah.
So there isn't really any situation where you want to pause your air factories because you need something else. So you might as well build more air factories. I think it's good because building factories is faster than building engines.
Yeah.
You can spend the resources faster into it.
Well, that's another thing I'm gonna have to get my head around as well. Like, I find it difficult doing one thing in one situation and another in another. I need to. Yeah, I'll have to try and get my head around it because I'm sort of getting into the habit of assisting my air factory.
Oh, it's great. Keep doing that. Even on big maps, then you just need more engines, so you need maybe even 3 factories making engines.
Yeah.
So if that's too much for you now, then keep it for later. It's fine. Just do the one thing. It's not bad. Not at all.
So the problem is the lack of build power. The fact that you need so much build power to get enough of everything. So making more factories is one way of
More
solving
engines.
that problem. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when you find, so
And you can
I
also
obviously at
make
some
more navy
point,
factories.
I obviously at some point in this game, well, like probably now, we're thinking, I can't spend everything I've got. And one way to solve that problem would have been
And you don't even have everything.
yeah, I know. It's really bad.
No, it's not. It's normal. It's exactly what would be expected. You actually do a decent job.
It's good. We should watch the next one. You should watch this on ×10 because that economy bar is full and I can't even stand to look at it.
But you're not wasting anymore. It's actually, at least it's going down. So you mostly fixed your economy problems now,
Commander under attack.
and you start this factory still idle, unfortunately. I take it back what I said. Even so, you died, so you probably have more important things to do. Never mind, it's fine. It's okay to have an idle factory if you're dying. It would be better to have it not idle, anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's progress. It's the first time I've built an extra factory for engineers. You're teaching a noob now, Zach.
And look at your naval control.
Yeah. Well, I actually on the one I won against quite a high rated player, I ran him over in the navy. I ended up with destroyers in his little bay, and yeah, it just it's obviously it's just really good about playing a better player is that it's really where you learn, isn't it? You know,
yes, absolutely.
It's proof positive that you cannot water your commander.
At some point we might play
factories.
against each other to speed up the improvement, even so not yet.
What, you and I? Like, I lasted 10 minutes on standing stones, didn't I? But I'm pretty sure you had one arm behind your back.
Yes, but if you do that 10 times in a row, then you will probably last 20 minutes, and you will beat most other people in this 20 minutes. Because if you last 20 minutes against me, that means that your first 20 minutes can't be that bad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and games don't normally last that long. I played Manreed on that map. I think it was after I played you. I don't know, but I think I shocked him a little bit because I killed all his expanding engineers, and obviously his talent shone through after that, and I made a mess of it. But I got the upper hand in the first 10 minutes at least. So maybe that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So on such big maps, you just need more everything.
More everything.
Because you have more mass. So mostly more bit power, and just throw it and spend it, and also not forget to eco. Like you did good actually. Your ecoing is good. You just started a bit too early.
Yeah.
But otherwise your pace of eco, like assisting with like the engines, like 5 engines or something, that's normal. You just start a bit later.
Yeah, and it was a mistake, such a mistake to start with, because obviously Tech 1 extractors are more efficient than 2, aren't they? And I should know that. Damn it! Why do I do things that I should know better?
But it's very simple to explain because you are in a situation that you have no experience in, and
yeah,
there are like 100, or actually probably more than 100, easily more than 100 things to think about. So it's very easy to forget one thing that you actually know when you come into the situation and you have to think about incredibly many things.
I just need to play more games, and I need to play more games against people that are better than me as well, and because you learn so fast. You must learn so fast. Because if you want to have any chance of winning, you need to do these things right. Like, you've just got no chance. You've got no chance of winning if he grabs all his resources and you don't get yours. I mean, you don't even need to talk about anything else because he's already got twice.
Yeah.
Twice
Like
what
it's
you've
true.
got.
As harder as you lose, as faster you improve.
Yeah.
But at some point, you also have to think about the like fun aspect. So I think it's it's really good to play against people who are much better than you. As as better the people as better. Well, but it's also good to not overdo it. I believe, but it depends on your mentality.
Yeah, well, I have got some experience. Like, doing it too much, you can end up a bit fatalistic. Like, you don't even play at your best because you.
Yeah, and I think it's also nice to see your improvements against people your skill, and then you start beating them really easy. It feels good.
Yeah, and you might need like positive reinforcement as well as negative reinforcement. So that when you do something well, you actually win a game.
I think mixing doing it once in a while is really good. Should we watch the other one now?
Yeah, we probably should. Although I haven't even reviewed this since. I really don't know what.
I don't even have the map.
What? You need to play more ladder. What are you doing?
I'm actually not a fan of these maps.
Yeah, well, the way I'm looking at it is obviously it's just that when you're me, it's just the experience. The experience is good, so I don't mind. And as well, because they're going to be rotated, I can cope with anything for a few weeks. And
absolutely, and it's important to learn the basic of 20x20, like of high map 20x20 maps, like other ones would be Setons or Bermuda Locket is a 20x20 I understand, I don't know. It's actually quite different, but yes, this is really high map mass. It's nice to get experience in it, and you might like it as well.
I used to hate in the old ladder. The thing that put me off playing it was because I was always scared of getting the ditch or DeRosa.
Yeah, there are similar maps. I don't really like this so much because you are so busy doing everything and managing everything, managing your eco and balancing everything and raiding everywhere, rebuilding everything that's getting raided, that you don't really have time anymore to play the game. You're just busy the whole time, and that's what I imagine new players feel on smaller maps, and I don't even want to think about how they feel on these maps because it's already like a bit too much for me. Like, I can do it, but it's not really that enjoyable anymore.
Yeah, well, it's you get enjoyment from improving, don't you? It makes up for the bad games. So
but
obviously,
it's not like I hate this map, so it can still be nice to play. So sorry.
I was just going to say, in this one, obviously, you'll see a lot of the same mistakes because it was on the same day. But you might see how I've tried to improve on my last effort.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm really curious about. What you are not really what you did wrong, but what you did better than last time. So you do want the transport, and I never actually even gave a lesson or review. I never seen this map at all. But that you have to get a transport is rather obvious, and you need to drop, I don't know. You can still drop his side, even though yours is closer, so it's a bit safer. His is a bit more risky, and you can, I don't know, I would probably drop some NGs here and then some NGs here or something and build factories. Then start expanding, get radar, important. And scout, so he doesn't drop my side. And then eventually still drop his side and drop units, NGs, whatever. The early game on such high mass maps, especially if it's so big and spread out, it's really about drops.
Yeah,
dropping everywhere, like using transport to speed up your expansion. Because expansion is a top priority.
Yeah, I might just have to force myself to start doing it more because I play against some people, and one thing I've observed is that even people lower skill, they do some things well. Like obviously the rest of the game lets them down, But I play this one guy, and he does transports really well. It's like distance is no obstacle to him. You know, like, because he just drops everywhere all the time.
Yes, some bad play. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Oh, I was just going to say, you know, that part of his game must be really good, because I waste so much time walking places. If I was in the habit of doing more drops, it'd really help.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's good to like just pick up the things that you think work. There's a risk of picking up things that are actually bad, but then I will tell you. That's the nice part of having lessons. It can prevent you of picking up things that you think are good but are actually bad. But otherwise, picking up things from other people that you see working, it's it's a way how to improve.
So you see here, I've already got loads of factories queued up.
Yeah, that's important. Even so, you build them with one engine, that will take long. I would actually build a factory with mass. You need to spend your mass. So I would actually build a second factory with mass U after the air factory for more engines. Or another air factory even.
See,
Working with the SU is also not that bad, but
I'm making a silly mistake already, because am I assisting my air factory already, even though that's the sort of thing you should do when you've got too much power, and I've not got enough to spend all my
yeah,
mass.
that's true. And also that's an efficient way and a flexible way. But on such big maps, you don't need to be that efficient with your resources. And you don't need to be flexible that much, because you build everything.
Yeah.
So it's more about speed. And then it's faster to build more factories. That's what we had. But as you said, if that's too much for you yet to like wrap your head around, to remember all that, then just keep doing it. It's not wrong.
Well, I'll see. I'll see. Maybe I can just think on bigger maps. It's all right to have a few, and because this other guy I'm playing, he typically builds at least a couple.
Yeah, that's good. Also, even on 10x10 maps, a couple of, like, in some situations, not bad, but we will get to that.
Be really handy for queuing up transports from the support faction, because half the time I have trouble with, like, if I put one in my queue and then forget about it, I'll end up with about 10 transports.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you need to build the transport earlier. That's probably your main mistake still.
Yeah.
You forgot the mass extractor. don't do that. Get the mass extractors, and you actually improved in building power. You see a build with 5 engines and your amount of power is good. You might get a bit much now because your expansion is slow, as you don't have your transport. And you also didn't send, you needed to send engines here and here. And maybe here. Oh, you can't walk here. Yeah.
I think you need to build an edge build at the top ledge as well.
Oh, right, okay. Well, then do that. Edge
well,
build,
I tried at one point with an engineer, but it don't work. I don't know if the build range is too small.
Oh, I see.
You learn.
Well, the engine is coming here. Maybe one more or whatever, but expand as fast as possible so you get all that mass. Then starting navy. That's actually a map where starting navy too early can hurt you.
Yeah, because there's no mass extractors in the
you don't get anything from it, but he starts navy, so it can't be a mistake to start navy as well. A bit you don't even need to be super fast, but if you see it, you should in the next, I don't know, some seconds start.
Yeah.
So you might as well do it now, and that's good. It's a good time to start navy, because if you would have started like when you had only this, you would probably stall your expansion and delay it. But now you have a decent amount of mass, so you might as well put some of it into navy. So you assist your air factory with 3 engines, and you see the problem of lack of build power again, because you could easily assist with 10 engines or something.
Yeah.
And you would need to, and that's why it's probably easier to build some more factories. Like, it doesn't matter so much if you build land factories and assist the air factory, or if you build more air factories. The assisting thing is actually still better. It's just a bit easier and less APM intensive to build more air factories. You should build more land factories for engines regardless, however.
Yeah, I think on big mats I'm just going to start doing it, because I keep not having enough build power. And
I would usually build factories with 2 engines if possible. Just add another one eventually. Building factories with 1 engine is similar to hydro, it just takes forever.
Yes.
It's maybe just a personal preference, but I would recommend it.
You
Also-
can see I'm determined not to get dropped on the other side on this
Mhm.
one.
Yes, it's good. But now you didn't get dropped, so you can actually stop making tanks.
Yeah.
What is he going to drop? Like, he's going to drop 6 tank at maximum. So you need what? Let's say get 10 tanks here, and maybe 10 more tanks here. So you're safe. Then you get raiders, and then you might still make a few more units. You can make factories with some anti-air, some tanks. So you still get some more. At some point, he could drop more stuff, right? With 2 or 3 transports. So you can still build some units, but you shouldn't make 100 tanks. So you slowly increase your amount of tanks, because if you have a mass income of 50, investing 4 of it into some redundant tanks and anti-air doesn't hurt. Especially the anti-air will be good. Will be nice to have, like, at some point you will have 20 Tech 1 anti-air patrolling. I would actually put these on patrol then.
I think at the end of this game I've got about 100 tanks sitting over
Yeah.
there.
So that's what I mean, you don't need 10. So for the beginning you need like 6 and a few extra to be sure.
Yeah, because that just makes sense. I mean, that's all he can drop. I mean,
Yeah, so early.
if only when I was playing I used my brain, then that'd help, wouldn't it?
So I would actually not like make the number dependent of tanks, but more on factories. You can have 1 or 2 factories building units for security after you know that he didn't drop you. You only need many factories if he dropped you. Then you
Yeah.
need to put everything
So
into it.
Otherwise, you just wait.
And you sent another engine to expand, that's great. Your expansion is still a little bit slow, you could have another one here. There's a ledge factory. It doesn't work because there are trees.
Is that what it is?
And you can't, you have to drop.
I thought it was build range or something.
No,
like that. So you
is-
need to drop it then.
Yes, I believe so. Or you get an attack move here from the factory. So reclaim everything and then you can build it, but it takes long.
Let's just drop
What you should absolutely do is sell, like, all these factories should make engines on attack move and petrol, and there's so many stones here.
Well, that's the other thing he did, which I did watch this replay.
Mhm.
I decided I'd definitely start doing is like when you've got factories in your expansion, you like get him on engineers and patrol around, because he just had so much reclaim and I had nothing.
That's something you learn with, it's just learning the map. Also here, that's a lot of reclaim here. It's actually probably worth dropping there on your opponent's side just because of that. Drop here to get, like,
Steal the
what are the stones worth? 175? Yeah. So your expansion could be a bit faster still, like Angie's going here. It's 3 muscle, you have tons of Angies, so 1 less here won't matter. 1 more here will matter. So expand faster, but it's good. It's improving actually. That's the important thing. And transport, you still needed to get all these island thingies.
Well, you can walk to some of them, just not the ones right at the edge. I
Yes,
think.
but like also for these ones close to him, you probably want to drop to be faster. I would walk here as you did, and maybe drop here, maybe walk here, depending on, like, you get your factories here and here or something, wherever, and just depending on the strategy. But whatever is free at this point in the game, you should have 1 or 2 transports and you should get it.
Yeah, I need to just work on dropping stuff.
Yeah, it takes quite a bit of attention, and this most likely I forget it. I wonder actually how you don't see it. You should look out for it. Like when you zoom out, if there's some mother structures, but I can see on such a big maps, it's you're busy, and you actually take these ones and this one, these ones. It's good. You just overlook this one, but like it's glowing.
Oh no, that was terrible.
No, it's not, and it doesn't really matter as a, like, that's a nice thing on such big maps. You can even afford to not build a mass extractor.
And I've
because
been stalling mass for so
yeah,
long.
you have 25, so if you have 26, it won't win you the game as a. And you
I
went
know,
tech 2. That's really good.
It's just painful for you to see.
It's not really painful because you have really to build a mass extractor, but I just tell this because this should really get an automatic habit. not really
Yeah.
to build them in the first place, but to rebuild them when they get raided.
Yeah, you
So-
need to just be, as soon as you see a mass extractor, you need to just be queuing it up straight away.
Yes, and the important thing is it's supposed to save your APM. You just do it automatically. You don't have to think about it, and you can do it really fast because of that. And yeah, that's why I keep saying that so often whenever, because I believe that will help to create this habit, and having this habit will really help.
Yeah,
save
I mean,
APM.
I'm surprised that I didn't. I really am. Like I said, I think I'm better than I am. Yeah. So the economy, well, up to this point was sort of evenish.
The economy is good. You made great amount of power. You started with mass expansion. Is not that you didn't reclaim, but your balance is good, and you switched to Tech 2 power really well. Like you made your power management is really good.
But I mean, like compared to his income, because I noticed like after this point, he's really good at upgrading his extractors, and it doesn't take long for him to have double my economy. So apart from, I mean, we've talked about things already which are just ridiculous on this game.
So
Probably more important than everything else, but from this point, it probably run because it's even at this point. So I must have expanded at least as well as he did.
yeah.
But from this point, it completely just runs over.
Yes,
them.
and now is the point where like that's what I said. The rule of thumb is when your expansion phase is done, you start ecoing.
Yeah.
You did actually, and he is ecoing not really efficient. He's upgrading them all at once, and he's stalling terribly instead of assisting them. And he didn't even expand here yet. You do a much better job on this. You're here
Yeah,
already.
but-
You even
but
have your
then it's-
factory, and you make well, you make quite a lot of. Actually, it's not that many tanks. You have 28. You should probably stop if you don't have mass. And what he is doing, he's getting all the reclaims, so the reclaim helps him to eco. So,
Yeah.
but the expansion is done. Now you want to start ecoing, and on such big maps, you do much of everything. So you also do much eco. So you
Yeah.
don't upgrade one mass extractor after each other. You can easily do 4 at once, without and then you assist them on top.
Yeah.
So you would take them all, like you would do the usual thing, take them all, upgrade them, pause them, chain them. But then whenever you have mass access, you just take a few and unpause them. So you eco normally without the assisting on top. You do
Would
like
you worry about
mix.
safe mass extractors on this map? Like, would you not upgrade the ones at the outcrop of land unless you'd built defences, or? Because it just seems like sometimes people just upgrade to get rid of mass and they're all over the
Yeah,
place.
it's a bit tricky. I think if indoor, most of these they are kinda safe, because if they get killed, you are already in trouble. Even so, it's not bad to also just upgrade like these ones, and then storage them and get them to take 3, and these ones, and maybe these, and here like the ones not as a show.
I
And
think
these two.
I think probably my main problem with it is I've been doing it manually, like completely manually. So I've got to take one mass extractor, and then click upgrade, and then notice when it's finished.
Actually, you wanted to learn hotkeys. Did you do that?
Oh no! Oh, well. There's a few things I do use hotkeys apart from not for upgrading. I never got into that one because the old HQ.
But you
Yes,
wanted. Wait, what?
Well, you know, like there was a problem with the hot build or whatever it was that
Yeah.
the upgraded to HQ and not a support factory.
Yeah.
So I just sort of never got in the habit of doing I do use hotkeys, just not the upgrade.
Okay, but the last time you wanted to learn do more hotkeys, didn't you?
Yeah, well that's the other thing. I've just not had a chance yet because I'm a bit scared to do it. Because when I do it, I won't be able to play.
Oh, but you
competitive
promised
for-
me.
No, I've got it printed out. I've got it in my hand.
Okay.
I went so far as printing it out. It just takes me longer to do these things because I don't get as much time to play as I want.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough.
But I've got it, and I wanted to apologise for not having done it yet, but I need to set up my hotkeys and stuff. But I'm going to have a WWPC match coming up over the
Yeah, you
next
should
day
do
or
it
two.
in these, but in such normal games you should do it. So, two things. Do the upgrade key, yes. It
Yeah.
helps. Even so, it's not like I didn't actually use it for quite a time as well because it's on M and it's too far away from my fingers. So I rebundled it to caps, and now I always caps
So
chat.
you're telling me this hotkey layouts for your deformed hands?
I think you have it, don't you?
Yeah, you can.
It's already changed there.
What I actually meant was, when I said manually, was it would be much better, and I will in future start just telling them all to upgrade, pausing them and chain assisting
Yes, that as well.
them. Because when you have to, like when APM's a problem, so I don't mean APM like that's my limit, I just mean when I've got so much to think about already.
Yeah, I do know what you mean, yeah.
It's really hard, just finding the mass extractors on Tech 1.
Well, if you let me finish, this
No,
this hotkey is select Linux idle mass extractor, lowest tech.
It just cycles to the next one.
It just picks the one to the next to the mouse cruiser,
Right, okay.
and you learn this one, and that will help.
Do you mean you're not here to just listen to me? Is that not how this works?
No, absolutely. So,
Yeah. Well, I need to map. I need to map those hotkeys for sure.
yeah, just thought we might not to waste too much time if it's solved really easy. So you once do this with like boss mass extractors, but also whenever you find yourself having to upgrade some mass extractor faster, also unpause
Yeah.
some. Then you just use this hotkey and then you press as an upgrade key or a pause key, like to unpause them.
Yeah.
That hotkey will help a lot with it.
Yeah. I need to do that and queuing the units up without clicking the buttons as well.
Yeah, so yeah, you do upgrade, but you also can't re-upgrade mode because you stole mass.
Yeah.
Because at that point you when you store mass you have to decide what do you actually want, because it's not the problem that you just have to build something because you have too much, you don't have enough. What's happening here? You reclaim your factory? Okay.
I think I decided I built too many.
Yeah, right. You do indeed have so you decided you have too much navy. You should probably also decide you have too many land units. So when you have too much mass, you need to spend it. When you store mass, you have to decide for something and cut projects.
Yeah, I would have been much better getting rid of those land factories.
Yes, and even so, the amount of stuff you produce is actually not that bad. You just need to reclaim way more, and then you would have much more mass.
Yeah.
And then you would actually have trouble spending your mass, and then you would naturally eco.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's another one of those things, isn't it? You can't even talk about taking your opponent's advantages away when it's like you've got all that sat there.
Yes,
you're
you
not
have to
even
take the
taking it.
advantage of like the stones.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's the sort of thing I do actually, like dropping the opponent's side so you can steal his stones and not getting your own.
Oh, well, it's good enough. If you actually do that, then you can even out like your mistakes in other areas, but you might as well get your own and your opponent ones.
I need to develop some good habits, like, when I get factories in certain areas or when I'm expanding, just getting it pumping out engineers on patrol.
Yeah, absolutely. That like on maps with wars reclaim, like stones and stuff. Absolutely have to do that.
I think I sort of got put off doing things like that because I tried doing it, and I think maybe it's because I wasn't using patrol, but maybe attack orders or something. I end up with about 300 idle engineers.
Mhm.
But on this map, one factory pumping out engineers in the middle of their expansion on patrol, they won't be idle.
Yes, once you do that, we can talk about like how to efficiently do that.
Yeah.
Or actually, like there are different ways. What you can't do yet is you do the attack move, which is most efficient because range,
Yeah.
and then you keep dragging the attack move around.
Yeah, it's just I know about that, but then
That's too much
just-
work.
yeah, it's the I like to have things that I can do, and then they're not going to punish me if I forget about them. Because that's
so yes, you just do some big patrol order around everywhere.
Yeah.
Like even so, at some point, you will realize there will still like 10 NGs be clumped on one place and reclaiming one tree and moving
Yeah.
away. So whenever you see such thing, you take this 10 NG and just give it an attack move across the map.
Yeah.
And
So, but you need to start doing it before you can make it more efficient.
yes.
So
And also important is don't produce 100 NGs. At some point you have enough and then you pause the factory. And that point is before you have everything reclaimed. I think a good rule of thumb, even though it's not perfect, it depends often on the situation, is when you have reclaimed half the amount of stuff, you will stop making NGs. Because if you reclaimed half the, it's actually quite complicated to explain why half the amount is a good rule of thumb, but it's good.
Well, it makes sense enough to me anyway. Because if you stop when you've already reclaimed everything, then you've got okay.
So you do keep ecoing. That's actually the most important and the most difficult part to start ecoing. So you just didn't do enough. You just needed more NGs, like all these and more Mazak trackers, and then if you do it with more APM efficient, or more like attention efficient, not really APM, then it will go better.
That's some crazy air factory assist going on there, isn't it?
That's not that much.
Oh yeah, okay, it looked worse from further out. It's all the idle ones.
Even with the idle ones, it's not much. You could have 5 times the amount and it would be okay.
Oh, okay.
For such a map.
Yeah, so, I mean, because you can already see his economy is just pulling away.
Yes, now he starts to pull away in economy and then he will clear. And while the focus should be early on air, like as long as the expansion is not done yet, air is quite strong. Once the expansion is done, you should always also get support factories in the expansions and make flak.
Yeah.
So if you lose air control...
That's another thing I'm really bad at, because like, on maps like... what am I doing with Navy there? On maps like Rigger 6, about 15-20 minutes into game, I realised my commander's standing out in the expansion unupgraded with no Tech 2 support. It's like you need to keep upgrading everything else as well, don't you? Like your defences and expansions and stuff.
Yes, especially like on this island map, getting support Tech 2 factories on the expansions, like I would get one somewhere here and one somewhere here. It's really important, otherwise you're vulnerable. And then make some flak and maybe a few Tech 2 tanks, not too many. Similar to the Tech 1 thing. Just if he can drop, I don't know, 5 Tech 2 tanks or something, you will also have 5. Don't really need too many.
And that's another thing he did a lot better than me, just like getting defences and stuff, because I got Tech 2 air I think, and started making gunships. And I don't manage to do much with it. I think I even get air control at one point, but because he's getting defences, he's just building Tech 2 flak and
and that's what I mean. That's why focus on air later is not that strong, unless later than Tech 3 air. But Tech 1 and Tech 2 air is really good while the expansion phase is not over, and also they are not factories anywhere. And anti-air, once you want to bomb NGs, once people start to make factories, the timing for Tech 1 air is kinda over.
Yeah.
And the timing for Tech 2 air is over when there will be Tech 2 factories. So to answer your question what you're doing with the Navy, you don't have a Tech 3 sonar. So you couldn't see him attacking you, or how many units, and otherwise you would have retreated. So you got Tech 2 power, so you may make a Tech 3 sonar. And then the focus on such map should be that's a horrendous focus on Navy map. And there you go. That's what I want to say. While the focus early can be on air, then you should switch the focus more and more to Navy. Because on this map it's absolutely controlled by Navy. You can do so much damage if you get naval control. You can kill his base, but even if you don't get naval control, but you can just control the choke point or something, and then you can send destroyers here. and kill
Yeah.
it. And yeah, it's interesting maybe what you can strategically. I'm just thinking about like implications of this gap for Navy.
But
and
I
the
was
fact
just
that you
wondering
can
about
attack here.
like because he could do that to your thing at the top. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
How would you even control that? Because you'd need to have complete dominance in the navy before you could.
Yes,
hope
you
to
need to be
control-
able to attack here. I would probably also try to make Navy factories here actually.
Yeah.
There's a cliff, but you can go here and build there, and but it's still not really great. You pretty much just need to have more ships.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there's already so much I could do differently. But now, I mean, he's sort of pulling away an eco. He must. Well, I think he had loads more assist on navy, which is obviously. I mean, I reclaimed some of my factories and I've got no assist.
Yeah, that's what you should do. The
Yeah.
focus should go from air to navy.
Yeah.
So at some you can keep your engines on air, whatever. You can also switch them, but all new engines should go navy. So he's doing a lot of things correct. He's having 2 NG factories, 3 NG factories.
Reclaimed everywhere.
Lots of engines on air. All new engines go to navy. Reclaimed everything.
Do you know what I thought after I saw the replay? I thought, oh, Zoc it'd be better if this guy had Zoc lessons. Because it's like, well, not that he needs them as much as I do, but yeah, and he's got like loads less games than me as well. I was proper jealous, but it's alright, I don't mind fighting against the odds. I'll fight with a handicap. But yeah, I was impressed by yeah, it just does a lot of things better than I do.
you still did something better. At least you expanded faster here, and his expansion here is extremely vulnerable. That's actually not true. He doesn't have a single factory somewhere here, so no, you got air. Another thing for you, and now your gunships should really kill this. Except he got so many engines, and he's building anti-air, so you probably needed more gunships. It's not enough assist.
More assist.
Yes, it's
More
a big map.
engineers.
More assist. So if you had 10 gunships, you focus the engines first. That's important because they make anti-air. That's also an advantage, having so many engines reclaiming. You
Yeah.
can very easily make Tech 1 anti-air towers, and they are quite good, even against Tech 2 air.
It's reclaimed everything. That's ridiculous. What are the reclaim numbers?
So you have 2,500 and he has 7,000. It's actually not that crazy. I would have expected more, but it's still significant enough. And you do a good job killing him here. And you start to have a nice amount of assist on your naval factories now. It's getting there, but it's already too late. And
Yeah.
especially the eco kicks in now. He can just produce more.
Yeah.
And you also still put a significant amount into tanks.
Have you seen them all? That was ridiculous.
And you didn't get the top side Ether. Like, I mean, it's fine that this doesn't get built up, but at some point you need to notice, like, and you need to think, didn't I want to get this? Where's my factory? That I keep
Well,
up,
it
oh, it's here.
annoyed me many times, but I'm just so not in the habit of doing drops that I found, you know, it's just like the amount of concentration it'd take to at that moment, like, think, right, I need to queue a transport and I need to load it up and I need to do this, and it always just gets put off. But I'm just gonna start abusing transports.
Yeah, absolutely. And making a second factory, assisting, and then queuing suburbs, that will help a lot. Even so, the first transport need to come from the first factory. From second,
Yeah.
that will be too late. But then later you can switch to that system and just queue up the transport one in a while.
Yeah, I'd like to come up with a system, even on 10 by 10 maps, making 2 air factories. You know, even if the second one only comes like. As
Yeah,
well,
it
50.
shouldn't come too early, but also on Tech 10 maps, second air factory is not like, if you got Tech 2 air, I would always make a second one. And also early, a second one is not bad. What's bad is making 5 air factories early.
Yeah, it's just because the logistics of trying to manage. Like, I want to be able to just queue up a transport and have it just do one or something like that. And obviously, you need a support factory to do that. But then, when you've upgraded the new air factory you've built to Tech 2, again, you can't do that anymore because the assist, like, they're not assisting each other anymore. Because, like, if you've got one producing gunships on repeat and one producing interceptors,
Even
then
so, I think on the Tech 2 air factory, it's was the APM to just cancel the queue, put 2 transports, remove infinite queue, and then come back and switch back to gunships. And also on Tech 2A, you don't want to go infinite production on gunships usually. You want to produce like 15 or something, you do damage with them, and then you stop, because he most likely already got anti-air everywhere by this time.
Yeah.
So far, we will get to that point, we will talk about that more.
So I managed to
about Tech
just
2.
do an air fight over Tech 2 flak as well, so I lost the small advantage I gained because he's just sensible and he builds anti-air.
It happens, it's fine. I think we can actually stop this replay here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the time? Oh, it's actually...
Yeah, we've filled his time again.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
We need well, I was going to say we need an action plan so I can keep focused on making progress, because I don't want to I don't think we've quite got to that stage yet, but I don't want you to just have to say the same things every lesson, you know, just because I've not been doing it.
Well, right now I have to say the same thing, because the action plan was to learn the hotkeys, so that's for next time. It's actually it's that.
In the rest of my sentence, I was going to say that, but now we don't need to, because I already know what I should do.
And otherwise, we focused this lesson mostly on the 20x20 map. That's not something I would actually put on the, like, yeah, when you play it, remember everything if possible, or remember whatever you can remember and try to execute it, and you will improve. And just try your best there, but I wouldn't really focus on them. And otherwise, we watched only this one replay, so it's hard to make an action plan based on one replay.
Ooh,
but
three, didn't we? Three.
Otherwise, well, yeah, but only one replay on a normal map.
Oh right,
like these two don't really count, because I wouldn't focus on them.
That's like 20% of the ladder now that don't count.
As a 20x20 with so much mass.
Well, that Stella Maris and Flooded Tabula Rosa, they're both on the ladder.
Yes, but it's not 50%, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we could put like learning these maps into the action plan if you want, but I would actually not focus on that yet. The other thing would be to transition to Tech 2. If that's actually, but it only happens in this one replay, so I'm not sure how that happens. But like the eco thing, start the ecoing and start the Tech 2. Don't stay forever on Tech 1. Like, ask yourself the question if you want more Tech 1 units or not.
Yeah.
And when the expansion phase is done, event eco, depending on the map, just yeah, that would be for next time, and we will look more into this the next time as well.
Yeah.
And see how well this goes. But most important would be to learn hotkeys. Unless you want to play without, but you don't, so...
Yeah, no, I definitely want to learn them. It just
yes,
makes sense,
it's not necessary to learn them, but if you want to learn them anyway, you might as well do it now.
I wanted to start recording me playing my games so that later on, because you can watch replays.
Yes, that as well.
But I thought it might be nice to see what I was... You know, if I know there's a certain problem at a certain point in the game, what was I concentrating on other than what I should have been? You know, there might be some useful information if I start.
We will do this. Absolutely, I do this with other people. We will. We can also like play live. You play. Didn't we do that once?
Well, we did. Yeah, we. I think one of his previous lessons we did have a game, and
we can also do more on that and focus on that. But I think right now there are enough other things to focus on. Even so, like, and it's starting to work quite well. Like the attention things. You like the idle factories and the like moving units around, not letting stuff idle. That's improving quite a lot, and the whole base management and organizing. But we will definitely look into that as well.
Yeah.
So you can record whenever, it won't hurt.
Yeah, and as well, like when we do the live game stuff, I should start having my lessons when it's not after a night shift, because like if we still had time now and I was going to play, I think I wouldn't even play at my best because my brain's just not what it should be. So I need to start making sure I'm in good condition for my lesson as well. Eat a healthy diet. Can you come up with a diet plan?
It's rather, if you're in good condition, we will do it, and otherwise we'll do something else. You don't have to change something. We can always adapt to your state.
Yeah. Yeah, good. So if you're not putting it on YouTube, you can let me have your recording. Did you record?
Absolutely. I'm recording right now. Yes. Nice of you to remind me. Always forget. I think I will put it online, but otherwise I will give it to you.
Okay. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. I'm going to get some practice in, and when I've got my next tournament match out the way, I'm going to just have some. I'll just take the hit of playing a bit worse because I'm trying to click my idle scout button and it's not working, and I'll learn the hotkeys.
I think in a tournament it's actually fair to not do it.
Yeah.
But if you play normal games, yes, just try it. You can also just play against AI actually and just force yourself to build and to use them.
Yeah, I don't really think it'll take that long once you commit to doing it.
Yes, if you really commit to do it, it takes it took me 2 days or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I will do. Before the next lesson, I will have done that.
Alright, great.
Good. Well, thank you so much for your time again. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks as well, and good luck.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.